Dun, dun, ba-da-da-da-da-da. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Alienware Arena EU third place game. We have the top four teams of EU duking it out for a combined 1750 in euros. My goodness, it pays to play them video games, guys. So we are here in the out of game lobby. I'm the FourCourtJester, and with me today from D Sports. Did I say that right? D Sports? Bird.
There you go.
How you doing, Bird?
I'm doing awesome today. We are playing for that 250 euro for that third place, and yeah, seems like it's gonna be a really fun one. I was checking out the competition. Looks like everyone's pretty much 2K rated plus, so that's always really fun. And yeah, it's gonna be a really awesome tournament. I was actually on the NA side, and I actually competed. I was top 32 as well. Unfortunately, I couldn't actually make my match, so kind of sucks. But we're going to be getting into it really soon, guys. It's going to be really fun, definitely.
We got a lot of supporters here in the chat for AT and cDay. And guys, in case you don't know, we do have on the left-hand side Team cDay, the number 2 seed from EU East, made it all the way here into the finals and won against their higher bracket. So congratulations to them to make them into the finals. Their opponents here on the purple team is going to be AT Gaming, the number 1 seed from EU West, and this, unfortunately for them, is only the third place game. So they didn't quite make it to the finals, but they did make the top 4 in their respective areas. So that's pretty impressive to me, Mr. Bird.
Definitely, indeed. We're seeing other bands coming up right now. Jackson, Evelyn being banned out for both teams. Again, we're on the Kazakhs patch, right?
We are indeed on the Kazakhs patch, so you will not see any of those more recent changes or the end of season patch being applied here. This is still when Ezreal is at his full effect, when Phage is still not nerfed, and Rengar is scary.
That and also DFG is still alive and well, not nerfed, so that's going to be quite the interesting find of everyone. That is why we see the Orianna and Jace being banned as well. Jace actually got a bit of a nerf in the later patches as well with his EQ combo as that. So it's going to be maybe a little bit similar to bans to what we saw in the World Finals coming out from here. There wasn't really anything I scouted from both teams that are really particular bans that they really needed ban, except for I think the Orianna ban was a really good ban. But yeah, both teams are really known for studying up on their matchups, and we'll see what we'll get out for both teams. Rengar being banned out for the last 4. cDay Gaming, AT Gaming has that really banned, so really strong bans overall together. Yeah.
Now here's the fun part. If you didn't do your homework and you want to go look at these guys' profiles, well, it's the tournament server. They're absolutely blank. So I hope that these guys did do their homework. And overall, as you did say, pretty strong bands coming out. Evelyn, that mid, we saw some really great work from her at those World Finals. Mr. Alex Each is a scary, scary man. But no surprise at that Orianna ban as well. Toys, you two-sided. Yeah, bringing Orianna all the way up to that top tier. And of course Rengar, as I said, Rengar was one of the most powerful top lanes of this patch.
Yeah, definitely indeed. And I mean, damage output, even though it did have that AP nerf, was still strong, and it's still getting played out even till today. So Rengar OP still has all the chant going on for everybody else. We do see picks coming out. Ezreal being that sought over first pick, like you said, still pretty strong in this patch. Going to be picked up for cDay Gaming, while we do have AT Gaming pondering maybe going for that Sona and Lee Sin. Yeah, they're going to be locking that in. It's going to be really good stuff coming out from both teams in general. Ezreal really sought off their AD carry just because of all his utility, and especially because he still has that attack speed debuff. And Sona, really good sustain poke. Lee Sin, really good ganks at early level 1 to 5, and actually does a really good game really good stuff in the mid game.
Now, it was at the MLG that we had COG EU Froggen playing Lee Sin in pretty much every capacity you could think of. Support, mid, jungle, you name it, that Lee Sin. Great at jungling, does not require that mana, can give off that blue buff really well. And now we've seen him even top lane and support, and even mid. Froggen is a monster with this guy. Very curious to see if we are going to be keeping that Lee Sin in that jungle, if we're going to see something a bit more revolutionary, something a bit more recent. But with that Lee Sin, they do afford themselves a good amount of counter jungling if they do choose to go that route. And up against an Amumu who's now been locked in, it could be devastating.
I mean, Mumu is very dependent on that blue, and that is very scary to really see that they choose that Mumu. But then again, looking at the EU meta, they really like those kind of control junglers in that early stage. Alistar, Mumu with Snoopy as well, so not really big surprise per se to have that Mumu pick, even though it's a really not played out well for any servers in the EU wise. It's a really good pick. Targ being picked up with that Ezreal. That's just a really deadly combo. If they can get that Tarek onto the stun on where we just see the Graves getting locked down or the Sona, it's just going to be so devastating. I mean, we could see a lane swap, but that Ezreal Tarek combo is going to be really devastating onto that Sona Graves.
Yeah, we saw an Ezreal Sona, I believe, at the World Finals, a nice long-range, long poke lane, but getting that Sona split up into that Tarek, I mean, yeah, he does give off that hard CC. Might be a little harder to grab a kill onto Gappa Graves. His quick draw does afford him a little bit of movement speed, so if they can punish that Sona a good bit, could be pretty devastating. But at the same time, she does have a lot of long range to her. We got the buckshots that can come out from our Graves player as well. We do see a Morgana there locked in. Typically, we will see her mid. Since we already do have that Sona, I'm not thinking of a support Morgana, although that has come to light and a little bit more of a useful mechanic, more than we previously thought. But there we go, look at that, the Dunk Master Darius top lane coming out for cDay. I'm very interested to see what we're going to have as a response to that top.
I mean, Darius is a really good just damager altogether. Really being banned on Jace being banned, I would expect maybe a Malphite being shown. There's Diana as well. Diana's pretty strong right now. In general, there's a lot of top things they could go with. Even Lee Sin top if they want to keep it with that. That's a really strong pick against Darius, just because he has the same amount of aggression that Darius can bring out as well. But we'll see what will happen. Want to talk about that mid lane match really quickly? We do have that Morgana versus Gragas. That's going to be a really interesting topic, just because Gragas right now is still kind of in a nerf state after this patch, because he does have his longer cooldowns on his explosive cast, his ultimate ability. So that's kind of interesting to play out, and we do see that Malphite pick now for that top lane being shown. But Morgana, very controlly, and it could really benefit against where, Gragas usually comes into that mid game.
It's a good. I'm actually really happy that you're able to predict that Malphite. I was thinking maybe Shen as a fifth pick. It'd get some nice split pushing, double shields with the Lee Sin combo, with the black shield from Morgana and the heals from Sona. Could have been a nice way to go, but Malphite has his own. But he's also a nice hard initiate. So I mean, if we take a quick look at AT, because we only have about 30 seconds here, that Amumu, who will be jungling. Yeah, might as well just show you guys this. And it will be that Lee Sin jungle. Amumu can go in with that bandage toss, go into the Sad Mummy ultimate, or we can have that stun combo come out from Tarek, or we have the initiation on top of that Gragas. Having this Malphite to try to stop some of these initiations, or even just start their own first, it's nice, it's solid, it's AoE stun. I think it's a perfect pick here.
Yeah, on top of that, you have the Sona ult with that Crescendo, and on top of that, you have Soul Shackles with Morgana. I mean, AT saw that they have an AoE comp for that cDay gaming, but they wanted to top that just a little bit by having 3 other AoE ults onto that. So, really, really, really controlling stuff, and we are about to go into the game live.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, the first game of the best of 3, third place matchup of the Alienware Arena Fall Season EU Division. FourCourtJester here with Bird. Always happy to do more casting for Alienware and to expand, because I've never done any work with Mr. Bird here. So it is a pleasure and an honor, sir. We are looking at these skins: Santa Gragas, Vancouver Amumu. We got a Canadian in them, I wonder. Bloodstone Tarek, and I'm looking also at those summoners, and I don't really see anything really too weird here. We got the 3 ignites, the 1 exhaust, and our smites.
Yeah, nothing too different from it. I mean, Lee Sin traditionally could go with exhaust as well, but moreover, I haven't seen that Lee Sin's been picking up flash just for that extra maneuverability, just in case. Other than that, yeah, it's really interesting to see that there is no really big lane swaps probably going to be happening, just because Darius, not the greatest of a 2v1, while on top with Malphite 1v2 could go pretty okay.
How on earth did my interface screw up? Serious?
Was it the corner screen bug, or what do you mean?
There we go. I think that fixed it.
Okay.
Nope, not his corner screen, but all that work for the interface, I guess, was not really worth it in the long run. But either way, guys, we are into here. On our left, cDay Gaming. On our right, AT Gaming. Lots of boots, lots of pots. I'm going to rearrange the scoreboard here. Mr. Bird, take it away.
Yeah, definitely a level 1 engagement. I would think AT Gaming probably would have a little bit more of a beneficial gain. Morgana plus on top of that Malphite slow. You just have a little bit of CC coming out from there, but you do have possibly cDay Gaming with that bandage toss that would really hurt cDay Gaming, but also that you have the Tark stun. So, I mean, there is 2 for 2 on the CCs, and we do see AT Gaming going right to the double golems of the blue side / cDay Gaming. How cDay Gaming is particularly blocking around this blue brush and trying to see if they're going to be invading from that side. It's not going to be happening, although that would have been a really smart idea, AT Gaming, to actually take that blue. They are actually going to deny maybe probably this red and really hamper him in that mid game or in that early level jungling.
Well, taking any kind of control right off the bat is going to be hurting the jungler. It does look like cDay was very interested in keeping their blue, as you did say, mana dependence upon that Amumu, which is what I think is a huge advantage for Lee Sin in this regard. He does not need that blue, but maybe they're going to be trying to sit here, try to catch out that bot lane. Smartly enough, Ezreal went around. Tarek just didn't even bother. He just went back to town. Did Tarek pick up an extra potion? No, I don't think so. Doesn't look like it. So we're gonna see how these raids. Gonna get ourselves that red. This could lead into a level 2 gank on the bottom.
Definitely, indeed. That's usually how it would go from here. Unfortunately for cDay Gaming, they only warded the blue brush-ish, or AT Gaming should be, and then yeah, we'll be seeing where Lee Sin will be going. Could go mid, probably is gonna go bottom, like you said.
Yeah, well, I can't think of any other reason to stick around that long. So Ezreal might be getting a little bit of a visit, but no, it looks like he's going to head up to mid instead. Morgana not going to be able to bait him into any kind of position, but with that ward, they now know where this Lee Sin was, and they're noticing that he has that red buff.
And we do see a Mumu and Lee Sin could be talking to each other really quickly. We do see a Wraith Steal from that Lee Sin, but now it's going to be caught between Gragas. Taking some damage onto at least.
Caught between Gragas and a hard place. Yeah, not the best of spots. Sorry's now that dark binding will stop that aggression, but I don't know. We've kind of kept Lee Sin from the jungle. Mumu looks like he's going to put up a little bit of pressure, but now here we go. Lee Sin going to start off his own blue. Did Mumu do smiteless? He did. He does have smite. We actually do have smite left on Lee Sin as well. Does Lee Sin know what's going on?
No, and also the smite going down onto Lee Sin. Lee Sin taking that away. I just checked. Amumu did not actually have blue. He gave it to Darius, and Darius now has that blue. So Amumu is now going to be really behind right now. That's very shocking of a play for cDay Gaming.
Yeah, you're right. They did give it to that Darius. Darius, the Dunk Master, wants to try to spam on top of that Malphite, trying to negate that extra hard armor advantage that Malphite does have. So kind of a weird opener. Like, we gave the blue to the top, we stole the red. There's no level 2 gank about it, but AT Gaming did ward out their blue, so he knew that Amumu was there, and that's why he dragged him down, because he did not want to attempt any kind of smite steal, and they didn't. A little bit of aggression back and forth, but overall, nothing really big happening.
I think the biggest winner comes out of that is AT Gaming, though, because they have Lee Sin with the red and blue buff. On top of that, Lee Sin can still take that red, while Mumu doesn't have any buffs, literally, right now.
Nope. And look at him. He's crying like a little baby, or at least he would be had he had mana. But he is also level 2, and that's something to note, because Lee Sin has hit 3, does not need that mana for the jungle, can still walk around pretty decently. And as you said, he's going to get that second red buff.
Yeah, that early pressure from Lee Sin's going to be coming in really soon, while Mumu cannot really respond to anything. So we might be seeing Mumu in lane just stealing some XP, and that'd probably be the only thing that he can really do. If he's going to be providing for a gank, they better be sure that they can get that kill up onto AT Gaming.
Now, both of our top lanes have gone back to base. Health Crystal coming out for Darius, whereas we do have the Ninja Tabi first item for Malphite. CS across the board, pretty even except for our junglers. You know, 22, 23, 25, 27, 23, 19, and now Amumu's playing a little bit of catch up, but you know, he will have to head on back to town for a quick top up on his mana bar soon.
Yeah, definitely indeed. I would expect them probably to get that Philosopher's Stone pretty early, just because, yeah, when you don't have that blue buff early, it's going to be really hurtful. And does pick up a Regrowth Pendant, so he's probably preparing for that Philosopher's Stone. Or I wouldn't suggest it an really early fawn.
Really early fawn? No, probably not. It is likely, as you said, the Philosopher's Stone. But, you know, regrowth from the boots. He did start boots first, and he is picking up 2 of those wards. So are the wards going to go for the top or more for the own jungle? Because we should... Oh, mid might have a little bit of damage here. We got Lee Sin. Oh, he is going to miss his Hadoken, but we did get that Dark Binding. Is it going to be a lot of damage on top of Gragas? He's going to flash on over. He should be okay.
Yeah, Gragas barely getting out of there, didn't have mana, but he had flash, so he was safe from that. But that flash burn is going to be a really good thing for Lee Sin in that later one, because he will be able to just gank up. And now Lee Sin's going to be showing his presence, because again, Amumu is a little bit behind right now, needs to catch up, and Lee Sin could just take all day really to go ahead and gank it and give more advantages for AT Gaming.
Another big difference here is that the first item for Lee Sin was a Doran's Blade, so maybe he is going to be going more for that counter pressure in the lanes, not so much maybe the counter jungling, but we do got about a minute and a half or so until that blue is going to be up for contestant. We don't have any wards in the jungles except for this one here at the race, fairly recent. I think maybe Morgana put that down, or Lee Sin, but we are trying to keep track of that Amumu, and if we can keep him down and Lee Sin keeps up this pressure, we're going to start seeing some kind of nice snowball advantage here for AT.
Yeah, definitely, indeed. I mean, Darius right now, probably the thing that really was going to be definitely hurtful was that bleed that took that level 1 Mimi's loop, but right now Darius is doing a decent job, 42 to 40 on the CS score. It does a little bit of damage over at top lane. Doesn't have his ultimate right now, but he did ignite onto Malphite, and Malphite has to get out lane right now.
Yeah, Malphite extremely low. Do we have a flash here from Mikey? We do, but is he going to go for it? If he is, he's going to flash. It does not get the auto attack or the spin. A little bit of lag here on my client, it seems, but the ignite going off, and first blood from that Malphite correctly read that flash, and that is going to be hurting the top lane of cDay.
Oh my gosh, that was just a terrific turn for that cDay Gaming's top lane / Mikey R. I mean, it was unfortunate that he missed the Decimate. On top of that, Unstoppable Force was still alive for Red Cobra, and Red Cobra just said, "You're just not going to have a good day with that one."
Man. That was one of the more, that was just a really good steal, in my opinion. A good first blood there. Now again, those blue buffs are back up. Look at this, AT Gaming is going to be taking out that blue once again. Amumu deciding that his red was more worth it. Has that regrowth pendant, but again, no mana regen, and now Mr. Fat Man Santa is not going to be getting a blue for Christmas.
Yeah, it definitely, and probably not going to get the next one coming into it. Lee Sin now having that time down / cDay, having that time down is going to be really strong. I mean, AT Gaming has so much control of this game right now in the early go. I mean, the only thing cDay Gaming can really do is just try to see us up while we do see a kill over at bottom. Sorry about that.
Yep. That collateral damage is insta-giving that Taric. It's overall, this bottom lane has been more or less pushed in AT Gaming's favor pretty much all game. Ezreal and Taric having a little bit of a hard time dealing with it, but at the same time, the creeps are fairly even. Looking at 63 to 61, you know, Ezreal is actually above in the creeps for now, but with that kill, I mean, that's going to start really hurting his competitiveness with Graves.
Yeah, definitely indeed. I mean, Ezreal just has to farm up with that Mystic Shot probably as well. Amumu, I mean, yeah, he did get hampered in the early levels, but he's a much stronger jungler in that mid-game to late-game status just because of the Curse of the Sap Mummy, the ultimate ability. So we'll see if that's going to be making the play really soon, as we do see him trying to go up in top lane.
Alright, so Lee Sin has blue, Morgana has blue. There is an Amumu up top, but it actually was not warded. Oh no, it was warded, sorry. Amumu was just over top of it. Yeah, so it was warded. Malphite's not going to get tricked by anything here. Malphite's got to be feeling pretty good with that 1 kill under his belt. Going for the Heart of Gold, possibly going to be tanking up to the 3 gold per 10, but what would you do as a Malphite in this situation?
I mean, Malphite just needs to get that tankiness, and because there's a lot of AD damage. Oh, sorry, by the way, Mikey are going to go take a lot of bit of damage. He's going to go right down with that Malphite. And we do see Bartoli have to get out of there, flashing away from that. Sorry about that, but I feel like Malphite just needs to build all the gold for 10s, and then build up to be really tanky with probably a Frozen Heart, just because you have 280 casters, pretty much with Ezreal and Darius. You just mitigate them, you're going to mitigate a lot of their damage.
Sorry to put you in that quick situation right there, but you know, 2 more kills down. It is 3-0 here for AT Gaming. They've done some fantastic work thus far. Bottom lane for cDay, not in lane, going to be missing out. They're going to be shoved right up here to this turret. Graves and Sona should be heading back fairly soon. But you know, I thought that was really smart on Amumu's part. He noticed that he got warded, so he went all the way around for that lane gank. Unfortunately, the level 6 versus not having level 6 is a big deal, especially 10 minutes in. We're still sitting at level 5 on Amumu.
It's just going to be a really tough climb, and Amumu just really needs to get some levels. If he can get that, plus on top of that, get more CS, I mean, he'll be fine. Like, right over here, if Amumu goes in for a little bit just an XP steal, he'll be actually way better off than trying to actually attempt a gank, because again, like you said, the level difference right now, you have a level 7 Graves and Sona against a level 5-ish or level 6-ish now with that Amumu. It's just too detrimental for him to actually go for that gank.
Yep. It makes a big difference. Like, if we had that Amumu ultimate, you know, it might be 150-second cooldown, but the Sad Mummy is a really nice reset on getting those ganks, and we had already blown out everything from this top, but poor Mikey R going to get the brunt of that. Down south, however, that Sad Mummy is going to come out. We are going to catch that Lee Sin, but it will be repaid with that Graves kill. Graves, Sona versus Ezreal, and Amumu. Looks like Amumu will be dropping, but look at that, his little legs gets him from side to side, and he will go down to Sona, but really good play right there from Bardholdy, just kiting them out so far. Was that the flash? That was the flash from Ezreal. He was able to pick up the kill on top of that Sona, and he will arcane shift himself to safety. Gragas coming down for a little bit of an escort, so we are seeing signs of life here from cDay. They're not going to be rolling over this with a shutout, and that gets them 3 kills on the board.
Yeah, that was a great play by that Mumu. Just barely hitting that level 6, getting right into that Lee Sin really quickly. Again, Lee Sin was just being a little too precarious and got in there right into that ward over that tri-brush and said, you know what, we can set up these kills. Unfortunately for not, Graves could have got that kill onto Mumu, but again, the Ezreal attack speed debuff, which is not on the live server anymore, kind of procced in, and Ezreal could not attack that Mumu for that last hit.
And we do have 2 points into Essence Flux. That is something to keep on top of. You know, 25%, it does make a big difference. We got Lee Sin just going to be saying hello to Tarek here, as Tarek does put up a ward sorry, on top of this dragon. And you know, it is about the 13-minute mark. We should be seeing those blues coming back up in fairly short order, and it is about that time we start paying attention to the dragon. So who do you think for a first dragon?
I mean, AT has all the control right now, but with that little bit of slip up, I mean, it is technically anyone go, as it's really important that AT Gaming gets the dragon right before the Sad Money, because if there is going to be a fight, they do not want to have that Mimic ultimate. So I would give the advantage for AT Gaming to actually get the first dragon, but CD Gaming could have an advantage to actually try to contest that.
Pink ward going down. It is going to be Lee Sin taking out this ward on top of the dragon. Just safeguards on over to it. Why not? Looking at this top, you know, Mr. Malphite does look like he has Chain Vest coming out, Sapphire, so could be that Frozen Heart in fairly short order. He only has the double gold for 10, however, not the triple.
I mean, the triple would be a pretty good one. Actually, interesting to see that he did pick up Kagi's lucky pick. Did not actually pick up Phosphorus. My personal experience, I just feel like Malphite runs into mana problems when you're trying to harass them with the Q ability, the Seismic Shard. So, I mean, it's just a preference choice. I mean, that's good. That's good enough. And again, Lee Sin probably going to be pinging for that dragon pretty soon. They do not, again, want to go into those ultimates, especially when you do have Gragas probably coming around in mid with that explosive cast on top of the Cursed Sad Money.
I haven't really seen too much from Gragas this game. I mean, we had Morgana come down, we've had Lee Sin wandering around, Mumu's done some wandering, but Gragas has pretty much stayed in that mid this whole time. He's 0-0-0, he's losing in farm to Morgana, to be fair. It's kind of hard to farm better than a Morgana, but I don't know. I think he needs to get a little bit more involved here.
And definitely, I mean, because that mid-game status of Gragas, I mean, that's a really good champion for that, but we do see a gank over here. Lee Sin gonna get an awesome dragon kick from that ward position, and we do see Lakeas trying to get away, missing off on that Dark Button is Duts, but Duts gonna be split away from that explosive cast. We do see the damage going down, and Lee Sin just taking a lot of bit of damage. Safeguard is not gonna be enough to save that from that barrel roll, and Lakeas here done right now because Duts is gonna be able to finish you off.
Beautiful play there from that Gragas, but it is going to get repaid. Graves going to be dropping to this 3-man in the bot lane. Do you think we had Curse going down? Yeah, Curse did go down, had the Radiance and probably the collateral damage. But, or sorry, not the collateral, the true shot. And yes, it did go down. So they did trade out 2 for 1. You know, Morgana is able to revenge a little bit on top of that. Lee Sin. Top lanes don't really seem to care. They're just going back and forth. Oh, is the bleed and the ignite going to be enough? It will. Red Cobra will be dropping to Darius for a revenge of his own. And then all of a sudden, we're tied up 6-6, Bert.
Yeah, it's gold even. Everything's even. No tower's taken away. That Gragas play was really good, but now 1-1, 121 compared to 150, 1-0 of Morgana. Morgana's gonna hit a really big timing right now, probably in the next like 3 to 4 minutes, where she's gonna be pretty deadly. Probably getting that Zhonya's early to just initiating that mid game fight. So we'll see what will happen, especially with that dragon probably gonna be a contestation really soon.
Well, that's the weird part. You know, the dragon's still alive. We just won that bottom lane so handily there. But Dragon is still alive. They didn't take the opportunity to do it.
I think it's more because cDay Gaming just wanted to get a little bit more pressure on kills so that they can catch up in gold. I mean, that was the biggest thing for them. While at AT, they're just, I mean, Lee Sin's playing really aggressively and they have to follow that up a little bit. And that's why you saw that Morgana gank right over that mid. But the only problem is they're not really focusing on objectives. They're really focusing on trying to be aggressive, trying to kill onto champions. And kind of, you don't want to see that really for a matchup like this, because the control and all that awesomeness in that late game with that Mumu is going to be really devastating when you're going to be trying to push down onto towers in that late game.
I'm just watching little Mumu waddle around. He does have that Oracles, has done a little bit of counter warding. I'm going to take a quick look at the ward situation. Only the one just showing up to that top, but actually we have 0 wards in place for cDay. So it's a fairly low ward game at this point. That one Oracles is going to be decimating the AT ones, and yet there he goes. He's going to find the last one right now. He does have himself those boots of mobility, the double gold per 10, but other than his ultimate and maybe a little bit of cry damage for that sustain, there's really not too much that Amumu's bringing to this.
When we do see a dragon attempt by AT, this is actually catching Amumu off guard because they did just see Amumu take away that ward, and unfortunately they trade a ward for dragon. I say that's a very fair trade for AT.
25 gold versus, you know, the global almost 1,000, but at this are going to be missing that, you know, map control that AT Gaming has really kept very well so far. Looking at top is going to be another dunk on top of Cobra. No ignite this round, but coming down to a little under half health is going to get a little bit of reinforcements. Bartholdi is going to be finding Duffs, but he is going to be backing off. They do not want to mess with that Morgana, and I don't blame them. 18 minutes, has herself a Zhonya's. She's looking in fantastic shape.
Yeah, definitely. 200 CS is actually going to be even past maybe at that 19-minute mark. I mean, Morgana's just a farming champion like Karthus, so we're seeing that happen. I mean, I don't expect him to beat the Froggen record, but he's getting close. He's getting close to it.
I don't think anybody's going to beat the Froggen record, but we got the slows going down up top. Safeguard in. There's the Unstoppable. Going to try to take down Mikey R, but it is turning out to be more of a chore than I think AT actually realized, as he is going to get out of this gank pretty successfully.
I mean, with that build that he has, double gold for 10, that heart of gold on top of that Hex Drinker to mitigate some of that magic damage from Malphite. It's just a little bit too tankiness from there. And we do see the first turret going down over bottom cDay, now pushing down onto it. I mean, it's looking pretty good from what was a pretty rough early start for cDay Gaming.
It was a little rough, wasn't it? But now they're starting to slightly get ahead here of the gold. They got themselves, they traded a tower for a dragon, and we've had a few extra wards thrown into the mix there from Mumu. And you can start seeing a slight gold increase coming out of them. Now, in terms of the farm per character, it's overall it seems to be higher on average for AT. We're going to take a quick look at Red Cobra. He's going to get hit by that sad mummy. He is under this tower range, but it's going to be Bartholdi tanking it down. Not what Red Cobra wanted there. Here comes the true shot from Ezreal. Too little, too late. And now the Dunk Master learning up to his name.
Yeah, definitely, indeed. There is getting that good dunkage onto that. And yeah, I mean, I'm just checking around over here on all the characters. I mean, nothing really too
it's a 2-3 split
big
in terms of who's in charge of who's lane. But I think the big one is that mid Morgana, 6,300 gold. Ugh.
Yeah, it's just not gonna be so fun playing that Morgana or going against that Morgana in a big team fight. that Morgana is going to do a lot of damage and is going to be able to sustain really well with that Zhonya's on top of that. So, I mean, if there is a time for AT Gaming to push, I mean, they are losing their advantage right now in the wardage department as well as map control. So, if there is a time to push, this would be the time for AT Gaming.
Well, unfortunately for them, AT Gaming all went back to base. You can see them just flooding right out of it. But let's take a quick look at some of the items here we got for AT. Lee Sin, double Dorns, that health shield, the Ruby Crystal. That's about it. He's now spent money on a lot of wards. He now also has that Oracles, looking to do some counter warding of his own. Thankfully, we do have that Infinity Edge bottom lane. Graves, Morgana again does have that Zhonya set up. The double gold for 10 Persona, not exactly tier 2 boots, doesn't quite need him quite yet, but you know, I think we've actually stalled in the whole Frozen Heart for Malphite, because he's picked himself up a Blasting Wand.
Yeah, he could be going for Abyssal Scepter first, or even DFG. He does have that Lucky Sky pick set and primed and ready to go. We do see a gank over at middle.
Yeah, Duts, he's going to be trying to go one-on-one against Chaos here. Does throw out that Zhonya, gets the stun off. With the flash, the True Shot Barrage coming out to try to do a little bit of extra damage against Duts, but is not going to hit. So 3-on-1. And which turret just went down? Bottom? Yeah, bottom. So all that extra pressure mid, they are going to be trading it for that tower. They didn't get a kill out of it, but Zhonya's down, Flash down, Ultimate down. They have a little bit of a window here. Yeah,
definitely indeed. I just want to say purple caster minions, purple siege minion right there, saving the life of Dutch right over there. That is just super OP.
OP, man. Them purple caster minions. Now Chaos here, he does have, as I said, a little bit of a window. He's chased off Morgana. Nobody's come to his lane, but he's not going to be pushing this tower that heavily. He's going to be focusing more on those creeps. And now he has passed that 200 creep mark, so he is catching up a little bit here to Morgana. And at 22 minutes, having about 10 creeps a minute, you're doing just rad on the farming scale.
Yeah, definitely indeed. He has 1k banked up right now. Could go for another big item pretty soon. Probably getting that Needless Large Rod on top of that, and then probably go with the depth cap. Oh, Bartoli. I don't know. I don't like your position right now. We do see Tarek had a really bad position.
Yeah.
Gonna stun before he goes down, sadly.
Man, they threw everything on top of him except that collateral. Actually, we still have the Crescendo, so 2 ults for that one. No, not even. Wow, I'm just making stuff up. The only one we used was the Malphite to get everything started into that. So either way, they get themselves that kill. Dragon should be coming up in fairly short order, but now with that Oracles, Lee Sin going to roam around a bit. Duts does find Mikey R in that top. I don't know if Mikey gets too close to Morgana. She does have that Zhonya's for a little bit of armor, but I mean that's it.
Yeah, I mean if Duts could actually get a Dark Money, he probably could get the kill. But meanwhile, over that bottom, Mikey Guard did take over that tower, so the map control advantage really going towards the CD Gaming side right now. So I'm liking what CD Gaming is doing, and coming out from that early start, it's a really good play from them right now.
Well, there's that stun going out from Duts with that ultimate. Mikey's going to try to make himself a last stand, and as you said, if you land that Dark Binding, it could be a kill for Morgana, and that is exactly what happened right there. Hex Drinker or not, that Warden's Mail didn't really do too much for him. But look at Malphite. I'm looking at him right now, and it's exactly as you said. That Deathfire Grasp was ready and available, and that is exactly what they went.
I mean, it's definitely for that Darius. On top of that, maybe for the Mumu, who's building up with the Heart of Gold, and we will see the engagements coming in really soon.
Yeah, Nose Dragon Steel going down. Sad Mummy is ready to go. He's going to flash in with it, but the Crescendo is going to reset the fight. There's the Malphite. He does throw out that Deathfire, but it is going to be Lee Sin with the kill, safeguarding over to Graves, just trying to get out of the line of fire. Sona not looking so good, but neither is Malphite. Does not matter. 2 kills, 4-0, 3 kills. 4-0, that Graves coming in very strong at the end is able to defeat that very handily. So not only did they get that Dragon, they got 3 kills out of that. cDay now looking more on that back foot than they have before.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, AT Gaming did take a Dragon, and on top of that, had a pretty good position. I mean, only 1 or 2 people got caught in that Christmas Sad Money. But the biggest thing was the focus on the carries not really happening. On top of that, Duts wasn't really near there to really help out the team fight. I mean, if AT Gaming had Duts over there as well, that would have been a really, really solid fight for them. But they take what, 3-0 right there? Yeah, 3-0 right there. That's really good for AT Gaming.
Yeah, 3-0. It's fantastic for AT. I'm looking at the cache again, and I'm noticing that Ezreal has actually surpassed that Gragas in terms of the creeps. 4-0 Ezreal, 221 crepes, has himself 8,500 gold, richest team member, and look at his items. Nice and simple. 3 items. Berserkers, Bloodthirster, and Trinity. I'm a little more scared of this Ezreal than I am Graves right now.
Yeah, Ezreal, I mean, especially, he can outdeal Graves really easily right now. He could pretty much carry this down if he needs to, but again, cDay Gaming has a really good control team with that explosive cast, and on top of that, the Curse of Ceremony. And we'll see their team fight coming again. But if Amuba can catch down a little bit more onto a lot more people, we'll be seeing that really help out for the team of cDay Gaming. Even though they're down right now, I wouldn't really consider them out.
Now, we did look at the items of AT a little bit ago. I'm just going to take this opportunity, show off a little bit more in depth of what we got for cDay. We do got that Abyssal as well as the cages. So we are looking for that Death Fire on top of Chaos. It will be coming in a little bit late, however. Randwinds and Phage to go with that Hex Drink on our Mr. Mikey. He's taking up very nicely. Looking for that Frozen Heart on our Amumu. The double gold for 10 and a Cloth Armor on our Taric, possibly an Aegis, and then of course our all-star Ezreal, the Trinity, the Bloodthirster. He's looking very strong, and this could be a possible engagement. Lay coming out for me, but Mikey R is dropping very quickly, and it does look like he is going to be down and out. We did have the cast come in from Gragas. He's going to flash on out, try to stay alive, but the Dragon Kick from Mr. Lee Sin creates the double kill for our Gray. So once again, AT Gaming, perfect fight in their eyes. A nice shutout, 2 for 0, plus a tower on top of that, possibly 2. What went wrong there, Bird?
Biggest thing that pretty much AT Gaming and cDay Gaming had right there was that vision. AT Gaming had pretty much control of that vision over in that little crooked corner by that first blue tower, and it was just unfortunate for cDay Gaming. They got caught, Ezreal got caught down, couldn't DPS, and on top of that, Gragas just got split from the team. And this is going to be a first Baron attempt for AT Gaming, and I don't think Amuba can come in there and actually contest this.
Mumu does have a smite, but no flash, and yeah, if he did get anywhere near this, I think it's going to be more of a suicide attempt. 3,000, 2,000, it is dropping, and yeah, it is going to be gone pretty much uncontested. So, not only do they get 2 kills out of that, and 2 towers, they pick themselves up a Baron, and they are skyrocketing ahead in gold now.
Yeah, I mean, it's all just little things, 1 or 2 little missteps, and right now AT Gaming is really earning up on that. I mean, I feel like they can just push down really hard, but again, we do have that Mumu, we do have the Gragas. They can actually control stall and get to that really late game status, and that is what cDay Gaming needs to get to right now.
And exactly that. Looking at Morgana, she goes home, has a nice new wizard hat. Gonna be doing some cosplay for Harry Potter, no problem. Aegis coming out from our Lee Sin. Does feel like Lee Sin's trying to tank up a little bit more. The double Doran still has that health crystal, and now that Aegis gonna be helping him out. Looking at Malphite though, Frozen Heart complete, another blasting wand on top of that, so maybe we're gonna be seeing more of an AP Malphite. A little bit of a duel in the top lane, but I don't think there will be a kill coming out of it. It does look like both sides did commit to it though, so a few summoners are down. And again, that true shot barrage. Ezreal, man, you gotta take some lessons here from Mr. Robin Hood.
Yeah, definitely indeed. I mean, 258 compared to 234. It's a little bit of goldish, but then again, 623. That's pretty solid on the kill score.
Oh, look at this top duel! Chaos has no answer to Sliver, and one-on-one, Gray is gonna be taking down that Fat Man All-Star. 7, 2, and 3. Our Graves is sitting at 10, pretty much, let's call it 11,000 gold. He has now surpassed everyone in the game, including his rival Ezreal, but they might pay for it with that bot tower.
Yeah, I mean, Global Gold going for the cDay Gaming side, but they are going to be met with 2 members. AT Gaming going to respond to this, and we do see Lee Sin just going to try to get something on Crosby, but Crosby's going to be able to get away with a lot of his summoner's build.
Oh, what an ultimate from Morgana. That is not going to catch any of them, and she did go the wrong way. They will be chasing down Vicon, or Beacon, I'm going to call him Bicon, and they will be finding these top 2 members. Sona's here, Malphite's here, we're going to be throwing down that slow. Are we going to see a sad mummy? No, it's not coming out. The True Shot Barrage does miss once again, and it will be death for Taric as well as that Amumu. He did not use his sad mummy whatsoever. What's the deal?
I mean, I think he was trying to save it for a team fight, and he thought he could be getting out of there, especially because he did have that flash up. But with Crescendo on top of that Dark Binding and hitting on, he couldn't actually use any of his summoner spells or spells in general. And unfortunately, just goes down with that. And this is actually a really perfect time for AT Gaming, and they are rotating to that top lane second turret, and they're going to be able to take that down with ease.
Graves, thinking maybe he's a bit of a Shen split push master. We'll take this bottom turret, and as you said, the rest of them are going to be up in that top. It's pretty much going to go down without a fight, and once again, that gold difference just keeps getting bigger and bigger. 8,000 gold between the two teams. AT is looking in a strong position to take game number 1 here.
And definitely, I mean, I think it's more predicated by that early game status that AT Gaming started off with. They really owned up that Mumu in that jungle really early. But overall, that mid game was a little bit. I mean, the game's not over yet. By all means, AT Gaming / cDay Gaming, they both could win it out still. But AT Gaming has to kind of watch out for that because that mid game status is a little bit interesting for AT Gaming.
Well, 30 minutes in. As I said, 50,000 gold to their name. They have been farming up quite a storm. Not quite the 300 creep mark yet, but these items that keep coming out for AT. I mean, now Morgana on top of that has herself that magic penetration. We got ourselves the Family Answer and the Last Whisper for our Graves, and we have a Shurilia's on the board, the only Shurilia's in the game for Sona. I mean, the item difference is becoming just bigger and bigger.
Yeah, definitely indeed, and it's gonna be really tough for cDay Gaming to hold it in. But they definitely don't want to fight in the open right now. The item advantage, like you just said, it's a little bit, just a little bit, and we should probably hold off from trying to engage for at least a little bit for cDay Gaming.
Well, I don't think AT actually wants to go in yet. Graves did head himself back to town. What's he going to be picking up? Going to be a Quicksilver Sash. So he's looking to get out of those sad mummy ults. He's looking to get out of any kind of stuns. Tarek's going to throw him a good light binding. Going to be landing some damage here on top of Chaos. But it's not going to be enough for really anything, just more of a poke maneuver. We do got blue buff on our Sona. Pretty much all the objectives on the map are down at this moment. Blue on Sona, blue on Duts. Man, this has been bad to worse for the jungle buffs for cDay today.
And this is probably one of the things, even if they win or lose this one, they really need to own up and get those jungle objectives really helpful for Bartholdi for the next game, definitely indeed. We do see the second inhibitor, or the middle inhibitor being taken up really quickly. It does see a little bit of damage coming out from Morgana, but not too much coming out from there. I feel like they can hold down to this for a little bit, and we're going to probably see a split push probably to that bottom lane.
Whoa! Ezreal getting chunked real hard right there from that dark binding. And again, with Morgana and that blue, she's just playing a little bit of a poke game in this. If we can just poke them down, those team fights just going to become that much easier for AT Gaming. But it does look like a split push is going to be an effect here. A 3-2. There we go. That's the cue we needed. Going straight into that tower. The binding going to be stopping Tarek in his tracks.
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't have enough damage coming out from there, so AT Gaming gonna play this a little bit of a waiting game. They probably want top to be pushing as well, and if that happens, there isn't really cDay Gaming could do to try to save out this middle inhibitor turret for sure.
Well, we do have all 5 gathered here into the mid. This turret down under half. Once we get rid of that, it's probably going to be a commit right there. But we're just playing that waiting game, playing those pokes, getting off all these pokes on top of cDay, trying to maximize the chances that this will work. They have done a good job avoiding the last 3 or 4 bindings, and we're just ticking down the blue buffs at this point. Morgana's going to have to start paying attention to how often she does throw that. You do make a good point about top, however. It is pushing in cDay's favor, but it's not going to be enough to deter AT yet.
Yeah, definitely indeed. And cDay Gaming has that kind of crutch, as well as bot kind of just stalling over in that bottom lane. So right now, AT Gaming kind of look like Moscow 5 versus CLG EU, where Moscow 5 kind of just stalled a little bit too long, and CLG EU kind of caught up right there. And we do see AT Gaming actually splitting off, leaving Duts behind a little bit right there. But that's with that dark binding to be able to be pretty okay.
Yeah. These random leg spikes are slightly annoying on my end, but can't do anything about it. EU connectivity plus all the streaming and no worries. So, did we back off because Baron's going to be coming up, or did we want to try to back off and bait them into thinking they're doing Baron? And there's clearly no wards on the table being that shoved into their base.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, AT is just taking small objectives. I still don't think they can actually push in just because, again, the ults coming out from cDay Gaming will actually stop any push, really. So they just need everything pushing, and then they're going to take it nice and slow, pretty easy, and control this victory for the game. Definitely, indeed.
I was curious to see if Ezreal was going to throw down a true shot, but he's just running in place on my screen, not interested whatsoever. Baron's still alive. He did say nice and slow. I think they were trying to see if they could get into a bait, but noticing that they're all mid. Now with this Baron, we could see the final pushes coming up.
Oh, Dutz does miss off on that Dark Money, and we do see the Shrillian pop, but unfortunately for not, did not catch anyone from cDay Gaming from AT. So AT Gaming is never going to do this a little bit of pushing, and they probably need somebody to clear out that top lane to really push this down. Or, I mean, they could say that Baron's enough to really push in and try to get for these kills right over here.
Well, for whatever reason they were stalling before, with a super infusion of Baron goodness, I can't imagine that they're going to stall really any much longer. The turret's is going to get chunked down pretty hard. We got some, was that a flash going down? I think I saw a flash go down. The true shot is down as well. Maybe I'm making stuff up again. Okay, maybe it's just the arcane shift, but you know, we're still thinking, we're still waiting. That tower, 200, 400 hit points.
Oh, great pull by Darius coming into it.
Now that's going to start it off. Crescendo going down to reset it. Bard Holding not looking so good. Malphite insta giving the fat man. Down goes that Taric. We do got Mikey R trying to make a difference against this. Morgana is not going to make any difference whatsoever, and that was that. Turret down 4-0 once again. Very impressive last few fights from AT.
Yeah, definitely indeed. Those last 3 fights really changed the game into really their favor ultimately together. And unfortunately for cDay Gaming, they are going to lose this game 1, it seems like. But they can take away some things from this game, definitely indeed.
Objective control, I think, seems to be the first and foremost.
Yeah, definitely indeed.
Yeah, I mean, the early game, there's no real mistakes in kind of the laning phase. Darius thought he had himself an assured flash kill, might have went down in a blaze of glory, but no, he didn't. So, I mean, he died there. That's not really a mistake, that's just getting outplayed, but it really did come down to Amumu. Amumu didn't get his blue, got denied his red, was really slow, big, huge level difference that early game. I think it was a 5-7 at one point. I mean,
yeah,
that alone right there, the ganking potential is so far in favor of Lee Sin. So, well, we're just going to have to see what they can do game 2. That's all.
Yeah, definitely indeed. I mean, it's definitely not anything cDay Gaming could have done, really. I mean, unfortunately, I saw in the chat room, Blue did take away that blue buff, and it wasn't actually giving that Darius the top lane blue, but all for naught. I mean, it's still a really good game overall for both teams. I mean, the first game usually is all about jitter and nerves, right? For especially for a tournament, even though it's an online tournament, it's still jitter and nerves. So it's really good for them to, you know, get this little shakiness off their bat. And I'm pretty sure cDay Gaming will come back strong for that second game, or AT Gaming could really push down and win out that second game pretty easily too.
Ah, indeed, sir. Alright, we're going to get these game number 2 ready to roll. You guys are watching the Alienware EU Finals 3rd place game. 3rd place walks away with €250 today. And, you know, the winner of this next match could determine who does get 3rd place. So, guys, don't go anywhere. Myself, FourCourtJester with Bird, we will be back in just a few moments. Enjoy some music.